What is going on, everybody? It is episode 928 of Pop Culture Crisis. It is Friday. My name is Brett, and I am here with my guest co-host for the week. Would you introduce yourself, please, sir?
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and a counter-revolutionary. How are we doing today?
Are you asking us that or the chat that?
I'm asking the viewer. So you're viewing me, the chat, people that are watching at home on the interwebs. Charles.
Who is here?
First time.
Hi, friends. Popping my PCC cherry, you know.
This is the first time you've done PCC?
This is my first time, yeah. So,
how you doing?
Doing well. Co-host Gamer Maids, and I lead the way in the green room. Let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, you do. You do a lot on I always see you right before whenever I have to go up for IRL. You're always deep in conversation with whoever is going to be the guest that night.
Oh yeah, you got to warm them up. You got to make them happy. We
got a 20 here from Not That John Stewart.
Already.
He says "Falk, yeah, falk." That's not the F word. Yeah, it's Friday. Yes, it is Friday. And I'll tell you what, guys, I'm feeling like it's one of those days where you kind of feel like you have like a cloud behind your eyes. So if I stutter a lot or if I make a lot of mistakes, I do ask that you give me some leeway today. Those days just happen sometimes, but it is the end of the week, which we are very excited about. And we do have a bunch of stuff to get into today. But before we get started, would you please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. If you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already, please and thank you. Remember to share the episode and the segments out with your friends and your family, your loved ones, people in your life that you both love and hate in equal measure. The more people that you share the content with, the faster this channel can grow. Yay. Also a reminder, as always, Not That John Stewart and Shane H. Wilder have already contributed, but if you want Mary to come back on Tuesday, you are going to have to get us to 2 crisis parties today. She always says it when she goes out of town. She goes, look, I'm not coming back if they don't get you guys 2 crisis parties a day. And I know, as always, that the last thing you want to be stuck with is a bunch of shows of me stuttering and mixing up my words all the time. So 2 crisis parties is what we want to get down to today. And also, we have something to promote here today. Did you guys see this? Just dropped today. Mary's Ghost Blend at castbrew.com just went live. You can pick up a bag over there. So I guess in a fashion, this episode is sponsored by castbrew.com. It is linked in the description of this video if you want to go and pick up a bag. It is a medium roast and it is s'mores, which sounds good actually to me.
Tastes good. I tried some of the samples. Really good. I'm
not I drink a decent amount of like iced coffee or cold brew, but I don't drink a lot of like actual regular coffee, but maybe I will have to pick it up and try it.
I think the play is to do a little half and half right there. You put the s'mores in there with your regular coffee as a little flavor. That's the way to do it, from my experience.
Okay. So we got a bunch of stuff to get into today. Number one, of course, being that Dave Chappelle is being roundly criticized just a little bit for his comments about American free speech that he was making in the absolute bastion of freedom that is Saudi Arabia. So we are going to discuss that. We're going to discuss the comments that he made. We're going to discuss a little bit about what Bill Burr said. I'm going to go through some of the other comedians that were there. The entirety of the project in which they are doing there, which is to kind of rehab Saudi Arabia's cultural image to the rest of the world. They're very involved in cultural events now, as we'll get into. So we're going to talk about that. Sick. Also, Stephen King is the king of banned books in this country. He's Stephen King of banned books, as I put in the comments today. So we're going to talk. There was a new survey done from Penn that's discussing all of the book banning in America. Banning, if you're listening to this podcast rather than watching, I'm doing the sarcastic air quotes. He is the most banned author in the United States of America. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Gen Z's hatred of tipping culture. And I found some additional surveys and stuff that were done, one of which blames Gen Z for bad tips, another that blames the boomers. And I guess we're just going to have a war of the generations, the ones who are the worst of the tippers. So we're going to talk about that. We got a bunch of other stuff to get into. We got one more 20 here to start it off from Strawberry Cough. Says, wanted to shout out my best friend who just went into rehab We love him, and we're so proud of him for taking the big step. Best friends forever. And he says that in his SpongeBob singing voice. Absolutely. And as you know, anybody who's watched this show for any length of time knows that that's something that I have been through. So I wish your best friend all the luck in the world, and I hope that they're taking the program that they're into seriously and that they come out better for themselves on the other side of it. And I think that, you know, best to them and best to you and your family.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
All right. If you guys are ready, then we can just get started.
Let's
Are you ready?
go.
Let's rock and roll.
Ready? Okay. All right. So first things first. I want to break this first segment up into two separate pieces because it's actually quite interesting. I started out this segment wanting to talk about this viral video that went live just the other day of an actress named Brittany Ray Carrera who's freaking out at her television when she finds out that she was replaced in the show Chad Powers, which I got through one episode of on Hulu. She was replaced allegedly by the Hawk Tuah girl. Or, you know, Haley Welch. Hawk Tuah, okay?
Epic crash
And
out.
I made a post on X about this, just if you want a little bit of context, basically saying, like, this is why you don't put pop culture references in shows that take any length of time to promote or to produce, because by the time it comes out, you know, it's a lifetime has gone by already, and Haley Welch is no longer relevant because of everything that went on with the crypto scam. But let's watch this video here first, and I want you guys to decide, is what we're looking at real? Was this actress, Brittany Ray Carrera, actually replaced in the show? Or is this merely a skit to get her 200-something thousand followers on Instagram to follow more and share it out? So take a look and watch it with me and let us know what you think.
Did you come in later?
No, this is literally my scene. I'm responding.
All right, guys, I gotta make an announcement. Russ Holiday just officially.
No, then we literally did this too, and I said something about Chernobyl.
So that's actually fair to point out. So
This is the best part.
before we go on, Chernobyl does get mentioned in the show several times. So I don't remember if it was before or after this point. But if it happened after this point, it goes to show that she probably did know something that was going on. But we'll continue.
And I said something about chicken tenders.
You know, I was thinking about it, it's like everything that happened to me, it's like Chernobyl.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for her.
I mean, we're gonna get into that part, but
That's like the worst person you replaced.
Oh yeah, that makes it better. Hell yeah, like she didn't know.
But that's like the craziest.
Okay, Ryan, shut
she is not happy.
No, not at all.
She's distraught. Is that a
There's Glenn Powell there.
holding a puppy?
Stop filming!
Not anymore.
That
End
was
is great.
anymore.
The end is great. The long wait.
Dude, that's perfect. I saw that and I laughed harder than I should have.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm sorry, I'm just having like.
Yo, I'm sorry for laughing.
It's okay.
I just thought it was funny.
It's okay. It's okay.
She doesn't have very good friends. Her friends aren't very nice.
That's what friends are supposed to do.
So here's the
Actually,
thing.
if she had good friends, they would mock her.
Yeah, that's the right. They did the right thing by recording her.
So here's the thing. That was posted by 7 News Australia, and she gives the reasoning that she didn't have enough followers, that's why she was replaced by Hawk Tuah. And the reason why people are asking questions is everything feels like a skit these days. Even if you look under the comments to this video, it's like, isn't this just an actor acting? And everywhere on all social media platforms, anywhere showing this, it's split between people who are both apologetic to her, being like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you, and people being like, skit, I don't believe it. She is an actress. She has credits going all the way back to 2015 on IMDb. So there is precedent for her being an actress in this. And both Hawk Tuah and Carrera responded. So here's the thing. She posted a carousel post on Instagram on December 28th of 2024 with her name on the call sheet as well as behind the scenes photos for being on set, which this is posted here with her name there. Now, I guess theoretically, she could have faked this back in December if she was really, really smart and this was some type of crazy Xanatos gambit where she's going to come up with a dastardly plan where no matter what happens, it falls her way. But obviously Glenn Powell, Clayne Crawford are in the show, and there are behind the scenes photos from set that she has, on top of the thirst traps that Hollywood women are forced to post. But she posted it
forced
with this.
to post my butt.
She needs followers, Phil.
So, and then 2 days ago, she posted this one before the premiere of the show, which was her. This was her supposedly on set behind the scenes. Now in this picture, I'm like, I don't know if I believe it, but she does have pictures of the mask from the show, okay, behind the scenes. And this was on September 30th, telling people to watch the show and to tune in for it.
I will say that if it is a skit, she actually is not a terrible actor.
No, I know.
Because that was believable. She seemed apoplectic about being replaced with Hawk Tuah.
Which is surprising because she got replaced by Hawk Tuah.
So, and then there was this post. So what happened was, because the internet is full of people that will then be like, this means that I'm going to go attack Hawk Tuah online. They had to speak to each other. So Haley Welch posted on her Instagram stories, "Hey guys, I've been tagged in a lot of videos of Brittany Ray all day," that's her Instagram handle, "saying I replaced her in Chad Powers. I've been in contact with her and we're cool. I wasn't aware of the role had been filled prior. It was as simple as this. I was called and asked to be in a TV series with Glenn Powell and I said yes. Duh, it's Glenn Powell. I wasn't made aware this was happening and it was in no way malicious at all. I actually love her content." I bet you she had never
and
heard
it's
of her
it's
content
not
before. And I think she's a funny and sweet girl. And then Brittany, because they all have to get along on the internet, says, "I am not upset with Haley Welch at all." But it goes to show you that reality on the internet is in a lot of ways just one giant house of cards, because you don't really know what the hell is real anymore and what the hell is not. If it's fake, it's extremely well done. But then people were tagging this news site, 7 News Australia, and like, "Oh, you losers, you got trolled by this. You got taken in by a skit." And she is a comedian. So there is, and me and Mary say this on the show all the time, women are the best satirists on the internet. In my personal opinion, women do satire very, very well, and they do skit comedy very, very well. So there's every reason to believe that something like this could either be real or could be fake.
Yeah, and so the whole people attacking the news channel, ha ha ha, you got caught, you got
trolled,
caught.
yeah.
That speaks to the point that I've been trying to make, where a lot of the reason why people are so default cynical and skeptical is because if you get taken by AI or by a skit or whatever, there's going to be a ton of people on the internet that are going to take the time to be like, "Oh, you got taken, they're going to mock you and belittle you and bully you and
you have to preface everything I don't know if this is real, but
exactly. And the point is, it makes people that are the internet is full of a lot of angry people that don't have a lot going on, that need to touch grass. It gives them a feeling of superiority because I didn't get got. I never believe anything. It's always blah, 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 which means that they're default skeptical, and they're not really skeptical. They're just default that isn't real, whether or not it's real at all, whether or not it seems real, whether or not there's a legitimate reason to believe it's real. They're just default that isn't real, so that 1, they don't get got, and 2, they can go and poke at other people that get that believe something.
Ridicule people.
And it makes the world a worse place, because now to be involved in anything, you can't just take anything at face value. You have to do hours of like I said, this is a topic for a show about pop culture, and I had to go find articles from Decider, which the website Decider sent a journalist to look into the timeline and the time frame, make sure everything lined up, all over a 1 minute and 49 second video for a Hulu series that people aren't going to remember. in T-minus 5 days. Your very reality is being thrown into question, and it's going to have long-term consequences for society. They did get response. This is also really funny. So Entertainment Weekly reached out for comment, and they got a response from, it says, we reached out for comment. A representative for Welch told Entertainment Weekly, so a representative for Hawk TUAH, Hawk TUAH agency or whoever represents her, said that reps for Chad Powers confirmed to him that Carrera did shoot for a day on Chad Powers, but would not be in the episode. Reps for Hulu and Disney did not respond to Entertainment Weekly's request. So again, why does a rep for an actor who's in one episode, or at least so far as I can see is in one episode, have something to say about this? Because it's good for both of them publicity wise. Like it's not like Hawk TUAH girl's having the best time right now as far as her image, given the crypto scam and everything that's going on. And it also, funnily enough, what it does is it sidesteps one of my critiques that I had for this. I posted this the other day when I was watching the show. I watched it when it came out, and I took the screenshot from it. I said, like, there was a Hawk TUAH cameo 4 minutes into Chad Powers. This is why you don't do topical references. They don't age well unless it's something like South Park, which has fast turnaround. But if you actually find a way to incorporate some type of internet drama into your weird 2024 cameo, then you can keep it alive, and it actually does end up being relevant in a way that it wouldn't have been if you just put Hawk TUAH in it and people are like, I don't even remember who that is. So just remember, your very reality is being called into question now.
Always. All the time.
And this one aged like milk in the summertime with Hawk TUAH.
Yes, it did.
SEC, FTC. Oof.
All right. So there was more to that story. We have discussed whether or not the story about Hawk TUAH and Brittany Ray Carrera was even real. Was it a skit? Was it something that was just put on by these creators so that they can garner more followers and more fans? Or was it an actual issue in which Brittany Ray Carrera was removed from the show to be replaced by Hawk TUAH? But it calls into question a bigger conversation, which is that in her initial post when she was talking about this, what she said was that she was replaced by Hawk TUAH because she didn't have enough followers on social media. And if you think that sounds insane, it's actually not. So this is a conversation we've had many, many times on this show. We've done certain segments on it. We've talked about it in other respects. But Brittany Ray Carrera has about 250,000 subscribers on social media. Hawk TUAH has a much larger platform, which gives producers a reason to hire her, even if she doesn't feel like she has any acting credits. And if you think this is something that's only going to affect the likes of a Brittany Ray Carrera who doesn't have a huge pedigree in the industry, like I said, she's been working in the industry since at least 2015. That was like the oldest credit that I could find for her. But she's an actor, she's a comedian, she's a writer, she has her foot in the industry. This isn't just happening to the likes of her. This is happening to the likes of like actual actors who you've heard of. So there was this article from like last year about Elle Fanning where she said that she didn't get a role in a major franchise because she did not have enough followers on social media. And Elle Fanning and Dakota Fanning have been in Hollywood since they were kids.
Crazy.
So she missed out. They didn't name the role. Some people speculated that it was Dune Part 2, but that's kind of, she debunked that. She said that that's not what it was. At the time that the article was written, she had 6.2 million followers,
that's a lot of followers
on Instagram, and producers told her, and it wasn't just her. So do you know who Maya Hawke is? The daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. So it's the Nepo babies as well. Yep. Said that producers told her that they were hiring based on Instagram followers. She has 8.9 million followers on social media, and said that actors are now expected to share more about their personal lives, and you are not going to have a career unless you do. Which is funny because it's like they're playing with fire each and every day, because one of the things that they get criticized the most for is that the every time an actor post something on social media, they have a loaded weapon and they have it to the head of whichever production that they are working on.
Yep.
So unless they are unless they are producing or posting strictly about the stuff that they're promoting, everything that they post has the potential of being taken the wrong way by the public and potentially sinking some production that costs millions upon millions of dollars to make. She said at one point, Maya Hawke said that she was actually like thinking about deleting her her Instagram. She's like, I don't like it. I don't want to use the platform. It's not for me. Imagine saying that when you've got like 8 million followers.
Yeah.
I don't know if she had, I don't know if that's how many she had at the time. And directors were like, you can't. You will not get work again. And this is the daughter of 2 famous Hollywood actors. If even the Nepo babies aren't safe, she was in Stranger Things, which is one of the biggest shows on TV. So you can't even work in the industry unless you have a social media presence, even though the social media presence itself has the opportunity of ruining the production you're on.
Like, imagine if like Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff was really popular with Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes in their worst days. I mean, we look at Britney Spears now, kind of how she's spiraling out, you know. I don't know. Like you said, it's a loaded gun. It's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, not only that, but the most recent Disney
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the was it Beauty and the Beast? Or
yeah.
was it?
No, not Beauty and the Beast. It's Snow White. My bad.
Snow White.
My bad.
Yeah, like she basically crashed that plane because of her behavior. And we were talking about this with the whole AI thing, which I think we're going to talk about a little bit today.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, is it too dangerous to have someone in a position on your show or whatever because they might have an opinion that you don't like, or they might just be really abrasive in the way that they share their
I think we got a 20 here from Brian Bledsoe. He says the default cynicism is just another product of postmodernism in current culture. I think it's that the tether to reality is no longer just what you can think or what you can see and what you can touch and what you can feel. Now it's what you see digitally, and that's not always real. So it makes life a lot harder to really understand. But there was an interview a long time ago, Chris Gore of Film Threat, and I believe he was giving an interview on Film Courage, which is another YouTube channel discussing the industry. He said, if I'm a producer on a movie, the first thing I'm like on a big budget movie, the first thing I'm doing is I'm telling the actors, I'm like, you're giving me your logins for your social media. And for the length of this production, your social media is not your own, right? Yeah. So the actors are, especially in the age of streaming, actors are largely guaranteed their money. We don't live in the era of the big budget blockbuster like we used to, or even the mid-sized budget blockbuster like we used to, being a force for more than just a couple of actors who, you know, the likes of a Tom Cruise, or even now, if you think about it, the likes of a Pedro Pascal, though I think his is less of a sure bet, is they take Scarlett Johansson is a good example of this. They take the lower payout for the salary with the hope that they will get a larger payout on the back end, assuming that the movie does well at the box office. When things go to streaming, you get all your money up front, but the producers don't want that. The producers want to actually make back the money they put into these projects, so they need you to behave yourself. So they both want you to have a social media platform, knowing that you could theoretically ruin everything for them, but they also want you to not screw everything up because they need to make their money back and it needs to be financially viable. Like, it just seems like a miserable business to work in.
They're walking a fine line.
Yeah.
We need to bring DVDs back.
I mean, hey, we were talking about that yesterday. I was asking the question. It was like, I asked Andrew. I was like, could they like make a disc where you could get a whole season onto one disc? Because that's my problem. I don't want to buy I don't want to go back to buying physical media because I don't want to have to take out a disc every 4 episodes to put it in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're never going to go back to that.
But it's nice to have the collection. I like having all the DVDs on my shelf. I still have them, but now they're in a bag somewhere that I don't even use in the closet.
Now I just treat them like garbage.
There's a 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie. Says, films with medium budgets will try to squeeze them by casting folks who have huge social media followings to save money on conventional advertising. It's becoming more common, unfortunately. Yeah, those types of cameos are becoming more common. And my issue with it is it showed up in like a show that I was already not enjoying. Yeah. I've liked everything I've seen Glenn Powell in so far, at least the things that I've watched. Netflix movie last year where he played the Hitman. He was really good in Twist. I think it was literally called Hitman.
Twister.
And I really liked him in Twisters. I think he has a good head on his shoulders choosing his projects. He's got Running Man coming out soon. He was just in the news recently for like being kind of two-faced because he was like at a party and some actor who was like persona non grata was like, hey, I like your work. And he's like, hey, I like your work. And the guy's like, can we get a picture? And he's like, no. And then everybody's like, oh, he's so two-faced. I'm like, I mean, he's in the most perception-riddled industry there is. Unfortunately, you're not going to find an actor be simultaneously fantastic at producing his own work, picking the right projects, but somehow being really stupid with who he gets pictured with. It sucks that that's the way things are. But like I said, people who don't like Jason Momoa will still post pictures of him with Mel Gibson and Peter Dinklage, and that was like a decade ago or longer. So it's a perception-based industry. But you're absolutely right, Pop Culture Junkie, that really is in a lot of ways that it's going. But, you know, it sucks because I would rather see, and they were kind of pointing it out in the Maya Hawke interview, is like, I want to focus on the art. I don't want to focus on all of the hoopla and all of that. But the thing is, they're looking at it from the perspective of an artist, and the producers are looking at it from the perspective of a business person. And they're literally constantly in combat with one another. And I tend to fall usually, and I know this is not necessarily always popular, I tend to fall more in line with the producers because they can be dicks, sure, but most of the time I'm like, look, if you're taking the money, it's your job to turn in the performance they want and to take instruction from the director. I understand the idea of wanting your artistic integrity intact, but then go do local theater if you want artistic integrity intact, or do something like what a Mel Gibson does, which is to be so big in Hollywood as a producer that you can produce your own work. And then Mark Wahlberg is like that now. He can make whatever movie he wants because he's Mark Wahlberg and he's going to produce it anyways. You can go and do that. I mean, Jenna Ortega is doing that right now, as if you want an example of a young celebrity who's pulling that off. She's going to get more leeway with her performances. Like, there was that whole conversation a couple years ago where she went to the producers and she's like, look, Wednesday wouldn't do this. Like, this character wouldn't do this. I understand this character. And because now she is a producer, her voice will carry more weight.
You know what Wednesday wouldn't do?
What?
Make herself look the way that Jenna Ortega has made herself look.
You don't think so?
No, Jenna Ortega, like in the first season of Wednesday, she looked normal. She doesn't look as bad in the second, but I've seen pictures of her since the filming of Wednesday for this season wrapped, and she just looks... It's the whole Ozempic face kind of thing. It's like
she's got the
really
caved
sucked
cheeks,
in.
the sucked in cheeks.
I think it's just that she grew up and she's. I don't think it's Ozempic with her. I think
I was again in that show,
Ozempic,
that show you that I'm talking about. Watching, she's in that too, and she looks like a normal human being.
It's the dyed eyebrows, man. The dyed eyebrows do a number.
She looks like she's dying.
They get rid of all the cheek fat. Oh, that's the new trend in Hollywood. And that
buckle
drives me.
fat removal. Again, I don't think that's what she did. I think she was always going to look like that when she grew up.
Fair.
But that's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe we need Mary here to ask that question. She would know more.
She would know.
All right. All right, let's move on. We got a bunch of other stuff to talk about today, as I always tell you guys. So Hollywood is always up in arms about one thing or another, and the thing that they are up in arms about lately is, of course, AI, because it's coming for each and every one of their jobs. Almost everyone. It's not just the actors. It's going to be the producers that are going to keep their jobs. Eventually, it's not just the actors, it's going to be the people who do the hair and makeup. It's going to be all these. When you replace the actors, you're going to replace the people that put clothes on them. You're going to replace the people that do their hair, the people that do their makeup. A lot of jobs are going to go down the drain. And this has all kind of come to a head in the last week with the release from this studio of Tilly Norwood, who is the newest rising celebrity in Hollywood, or at least that's what Alina Vandervelden of Sequoia Studios would have you believe, claiming that agents are knocking down the door to hire or sign Tilly Norwood. Now, of course, we covered this earlier in the week, basically with the idea that it's, of my opinion, that the studio wants to hawk their technology, so they're kind of pumping it up to be more than it is. The problem is it was fantastic promotion, and the studios and the unions have all taken the bait and decided to universally condemn Tilly Norwood, who doesn't actually exist. So there were comments from not just SAG-AFTRA here in the United States, but there was the Canadian Performers Union, the UK Actors Union Equity. Emily Blunt had something to say about it. Everyone on film Twitter definitely has something to say about it. But here was the comments that were made from SAG-AFTRA as they condemn actress Tilly Norwood. It says the union is opposed to the replacement of human performers by synthetics. Calling it synthetics just makes it feel like I'm in a Blade Runner movie, which kind of is awesome. I love it. To be clear, Tilly Norwood is not an actor. It's a character generated by a computer program that was trained on the work of countless professional performers. Without permission or compensation, it has no life experience to draw from, no emotion, and from what we've seen, no audiences are interested in watching computer-generated content untethered from the human experience. Well, you haven't been on Brain Rot Instagram or Twitter or any of these places that are talking about these things. I think that as the next couple of generations come forth, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. But I digress. I'll continue. It doesn't solve any problem. It creates the problem of using stolen performances to put actors out of work, jeopardizing performer livelihoods and devaluing human artistry. Additionally, signatory producers should be aware that they may not use synthetic performers without complying with our contractual obligations, which require notice and bargaining whenever a synthetic performer is going to be used.
Synthetic performer.
They love that.
Definitely super Blade Runner.
So then we get this from British Acting Equity has weighed in. They said Tilly is not an actress. She's an AI tool. Or it is in an AI tool. This is not a performer, but what the tool is made up is of performers' work, and we are concerned about where the work has come from. If that has not been given consent from in any way. And, of course, AI-generated actress Tilly Norwood slammed by the Canadian Performers Union as nothing but lines of code. Tilly's existence is nothing but lines of code, wrongfully based and programmed from actual human experience. There is no place in our industry and no use in the humanity of art for replacing performers with synthetics. They're sticking with, across multiple unions, they're sticking with synthetics. Actor rejects any attempt to do so. This was said by Marie Kelly, ACTRA National Executive Director. She says, performers are concerned about their craft, their place in the world of entertainment, and their livelihoods. They have always competed against thousands of other performers for work, but are now faced with synthetic competition. Aside from the fact that synthetic performers don't eat, consume goods, pay taxes, or otherwise contribute to society, they don't engage audiences using human creativity. So they got very existential in all of these cases, which I found very, I mean, it sounds like an actor, right? To get existential about these types of things. It's one of the reasons I've actually said that the movies that are made about AI now are actually the worst thing in the world, because back, in the age of whether it's Terminator in the 80s, which started out as basically like a survival horror in Terminator 1 and becomes an action flick in Terminator 2, it was made with enough distance from the material because it wasn't a newly formed reality. It wasn't something that was on the horizon. There was enough distance from the material that you could be creative without a tinge of fear in everything that you create. The fear that you create is for the audience, not something that's reflective of your own views necessarily, which is why you show me Arnie chasing after you and always catching up to you. That's terrifying. But if the idea here is to say, like, what does it mean to be human? There's a market for movies like that, but it's going to be increasingly less enjoyable to the average everyday person because it's going to be tinged with the beliefs of these people that are creating the movies who are fearful of losing their jobs.
Pop Culture Junkie.
Oh, go for it. Hold, please. Yes, dance. Thank you.
No dancing.
No
I can't dance.
No, you can. You can. You of course.
You can dance.
I'm in no position to tell you what
dance
what
if you
can.
want.
I can dance if I want to.
You can leave your friends behind.
Pop Culture Junkie says, I predict that the Tilly Norwood kerfuffle will be taught in college publicity and PR classes 10 years from now under how to create an artificial controversy to advertise your product.
That's exactly
good point. Very good point.
Everybody that I spoke to about this, as soon as it came out, they said this is absolutely absolutely 110% a publicity stunt. They made this announcement with these facts about her being like approached by agents at a conference at a technology conference where they're looking to bolster investment in their brands and things like that. And it's funny because then Emily Blunt got her 2 cents in here. She says, "I don't know how to talk about it other than to say how terrifying this is. Are you serious? That's an AI? Good Lord, we're screwed. That is really, really scary. Come on, agencies, don't do that. Please stop. Please stop taking away our human connection." Now, my point, I guess, when I was looking at all this is like, if we didn't go through the bad years of 2016 to 2022 when actors made every political opinion known to man, to everybody out there to roundly condemn anybody who didn't think exactly like them, half of the country wouldn't be primed to tell actors, tough luck, learn to code. And that sucks, and it does, because I, for one, like, I don't think personally I'm going to want to watch movies with AI actors in it. I complain about drone shots as opposed to helicopter shots because helicopter shots have more movements because it's got an actual person at the helm of the helicopter moving it as somebody films the material. I love that. I think that the human experience is absolutely explicitly needed in the creation of art. But I'm also a realist who understands that you can't halt the movement of technology. This is something, if anybody's ever seen the show Dollhouse, the Joss Whedon show Dollhouse, with Eliza Dushku. Basically, the idea in the show is they figure out a way to copy human consciousness onto a drive and then put it into the brain of blank human slates. They can wipe a person's memory and implant a human consciousness into a person. And one of the entire themes of that is that once it's been invented, it cannot be uninvented. And that's something that the show grapples with. And that's something that Hollywood is going to have to grapple with now because the technology exists. It's growing at a commensurate rate, like the rate in which we did. I was looking at like Instagram memories the other day, and it was something from the early days of this podcast where we talked about deep fake Bruce Willis being sold to like these Russian firms to do advertising, right? And it didn't look that good. It didn't, but it was already happening in 2022. And the growth of this technology in just the last couple of years has been absolutely insane. Now, that doesn't mean that Emily Blunt is going to be out of a job, but it does mean that the Brittany Carreras are going to be out of a job because they won't even have to hire the Hawk Tuas. No. They'll just go and they'll get AI actress number 3 to do those lines for those types of things. And it's scary for a lot of them. I understand that. But look, people already don't think very highly of unions. So hearing the unions bluster on about this, the industry as a whole, these companies, whether it's Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, they're just waiting out the next contract negotiations from SAG whenever the next union deal is up. And then they're going to find more ways to impart more AI in all of their stuff. They've already admitted in the first article about this the other day that these studios are doing AI assisted content written and made under strict NDA with the creatives. When you sign on to be a creator at Disney right now, you want to be an animator at Disney, you want to go work behind the scenes there. In your contract, you're going to have to sign away your right for your work to be used to train AI. It's already happening. Gross. And there's nothing that can be done about it. And the thing is, we've fallen into this trap because these companies are what these people who in these arts hold up as the ideal. It's what they hold up as validation and as the benchmark. They put their faith in Disney because they believe that Disney gives them credibility. They like Warner Brothers. Well, actually, they don't like Warner Brothers because they hate David Zaslav. But they like working for these big companies because they believe that it gives them as artists credibility. The problem is they don't care about your credibility. They care about the bottom line, which is why artists and creatives have been battling with producers and people who fund these projects since the beginning of time. And that's going to keep going. You're going to have to find ways to do things differently. And I know that that's scary, but I don't know what to, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to laugh at you, especially if you're not, if you're somebody that's tells other people to F off because of what they believe and you've been awful to other people, then I guess F you. But to the people that keep their head down and just do their work and are seemingly watching themselves be replaced, I don't take any great pleasure in that. I don't. And I saw this the other day as well. Actress Tilly Norwood certainly looks a lot like this TikTok influencer named Stella Heenan.
Well, it looks just like her.
I don't know about that. I don't know about just like her.
It's
I mean, I think she looks a hell of a lot
like her. The
face
shape, you know, the nose, the smile.
She's like,
hair. Well,
yeah. So look, it's the end comes for us all, and it's not looking good for Hollywood. They're going to be moving on without you, it seems. All right. What would you guys like to see? Cringe or the cringe is not that bad today. Yesterday was so bad for me that I had to do less awful cringe.
So we'll mix it up. Then start with the cute today.
Cute today. All right, we'll do cute today. That's cute. All right, here we go, guys. It is hold on here. There it is. Favoritism Friday. Olivia always gets to skip the line, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. This is from Olivia Dasovic. She says, another cute of the day submission for PCC Pets. This is Panther, or his real name is Vincent. He is the last City Hall kitty. I've been volunteering to help take care of him. He's really nervous around humans, but I managed to get a few photos.
Oh, so cute.
So there's like a group of people in the neighborhood who all take care of the local like cats.
Shelter.
They have they're allowed like people that own like outbuildings and garages let them stay in there in the winter and the cold months.
That's nice.
And he's the last of the three that we would go see down at City Hall. There was little one, there was another one, and then this one. The other two had since passed on to the big kennel up in the sky, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate.
He looks healthy still.
He looks happy. I wish my cat would love me. Marmalade, why don't you love me?
It's a cat.
I know it's a cat. I mean, I'm 3 for 3 with dogs. I go to the shelter.
Dogs are not cats.
I know. I'm aware of that.
I mean, you're acting like no cat. Like we have 3 cats and they have distinct personalities. So Toast is very much will follow you around and wants to spend time with you. Mocha will not necessarily follow you around, but will absolutely love spending time with you if you come up to her. Chloe wants nothing to do with you and says, "Get the hell away from me. I want nothing to do with you. Leave me alone."
I believe you have one anomalous cat.
No, that's 2 anomalous cats. Like I said, Toast is that way, and then Mocha is that way. If you go up to her, she loves spending time with you.
Mind you, my cat loves my wife and just hates me.
Oh,
so it just breaks my heart.
So it's just misandrous.
Yes, I'm just like, just love me, and she's like, look at my arm. It just scratches me up.
Okay, let's do one more here. This one is from SL. It says, sending in another picture of our bird, Tika, wrestling with a finger trap.
Oh, that's so cute. Look at that.
Cute. I like it.
When you have no fingers, you are at a distinct advantage over the finger trap.
That is true. Yeah. All right, cringe of the day, ladies and gentlemen. It says, not losing weight this year because I never lose.
Oh.
Yeah. I just thought it was because I read the caption, and it says, if you're new here, I've spent the last 4 years in and out of bed with chronic pain and surviving emergency hospital stays and major surgeries. A combo of long COVID and severe hormonal imbalance has left me with debilitating fatigue.
Yeah, it's the long COVID that's doing that.
That's what it is. It's the long COVID that does it. Yeah. All right.
I like the quote, though.
Yeah.
Not losing weight because I don't lose. That's
I never
good.
lose.
I never lose. I mean, that's good. That's clever.
All right. Here we go. How we doing? Oh, we're already like 1.5 crisis parties. We're almost there already, guys. Let's get there.
Pump them up.
Good day.
Yep.
Pump it up.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on then. Let's talk about Dave Chappelle. Let's talk about Dave Chappelle and his criticism of American free speech while in Saudi Arabia, of all places. He was at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. He was there with several other comedians, and I do mean quite a few others. He was there with Aziz Ansari, Jimmy Carr, Bill Burr, Louis C.K., Tom Segura, Andrew Schultz, Whitney Cumming, Pete Davidson, and way more than that. Those were just the big bigger
lineup.
ones that I thought of.
Big lineup.
And all of this is this comedy festival was part of Saudi Arabia's Vision 230, which is their way of, they're looking to diversify their economy into sports, arts, culture. You mentioned golf earlier. That's a big part of it. It was made known last week, a very, very big announcement that WWE will be hosting WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia this year.
Wow.
They've already been doing,
so
they signed a 10-year deal with Saudi Arabia like about a decade ago now to do these crown jewel shows over there because the Saudi Arabians, the royal family loved like wrestling in the 90s, so they'd bring back all the old legends and stuff like that. How can you not, right? But they had this show, and Dave Chappelle had a lot to say, it seems, about the concept of free speech in America. He says, right now in America, they say that if you want to talk about Charlie Kirk, that you'll get canceled. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to find out. It's easier to talk here than it is in America. So,
I don't know about that.
look, I don't know. Look, he's in a comedy set, so it is fair to point out that I don't think that what he was saying was a joke, because it was made known that there was strict contracts for this event that meant that there was defamation clauses in there and who they could not criticize. And at the top of that list was the Saudi Arabian government, obviously. And saying that it's easier to talk here. Look, he's Dave Chappelle is Muslim, so that also goes along with it. I believe.
I didn't know
somebody
that.
can fact check me on that, but I believe Dave Chappelle is a Muslim.
Oh, more you know.
But you know, the idea that speech is freer, and look, Mark Maron, who I criticize plenty because I think he's kind of a douche, he pointed out they pointed out Jamal Khashoggi. Jamal Khashoggi,
the journalist.
Yeah, the journalist several years ago, and all of that. And I just want to know, did you guys see the story and what you thought?
Dave Chappelle is a Muslim. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So what did you think? Like, did you chalk this up to humor? Do you chalk this up to being it's part of a comedy set, therefore?
I mean, I don't think that's really much of a joke. I can't see that being.
I'm saying that that's like that's the leverage
angle.
they use to be like, well, it's that. But
No, I mean, like, let's see what happens if he makes a joke about the crown or Muhammad or anything. Let's see how that goes. I can't imagine it'll be the same if you were here to make those kind of jokes, because people make fun of Donald Trump and all these other people all the time, and they're still fine.
Yeah.
You know, they might get some backlash on the internet, but it's not like Saudi Arabia where you end up like Khashoggi.
They pointed out. Oh, go ahead.
Khashoggi is.
He was a dissident journalist.
Yeah,
Fair.
Khashoggi's a
Fair.
dissident journalist who his like basically his beat was to criticize the royal family and stuff. So I think Khashoggi's a bit different than
A little extreme, but I mean, still, if they make a joke about the crown, I can't imagine it ends well for Dave Chappelle. Like,
I do think so. I think that it would probably be frowned upon.
Yeah.
But I don't imagine they would kill Dave Chappelle if he made it.
Okay, so no.
No,
so
I didn't.
Signed,
They wouldn't do that. But
they
yeah.
signed contracts.
Yeah.
That had defamation clauses in this, that you could not critique the government or the religion. Okay, so they knew that going in.
Yeah.
So the hypocrisy of signing a contract with strict defamation clauses telling you something you can't talk about,
Yep.
and then criticizing American free speech is the height of hypocrisy. And look, I don't know if this is just the bit he was doing because he was there. I generally like Dave Chappelle in most regards, but I think that in a lot of ways that comedians, it's their job to criticize what is going on right now. And it's our job to criticize them if we feel that what they're doing seems to be not lining up with reality. Payments for these, at least from what I learned from these articles, there was a really good article from MSNBC, why Saudi Arabia's comedy washing scheme is so insidious. And they say that there was payments from anywhere from $350,000 all the way up to as much as $1.6 million. I'm guessing that was to Chappelle and to Bill Burr.
A big name.
And look, Mark Maron, like I said, for all his faults, in my opinion, turned it down, citing the human rights record over there in Saudi Arabia. My issue is more, look, you want to go do business in Saudi Arabia? I don't have a problem with that. Like, WWE goes there, and there was a lot of criticism coming the way of CM Punk this year because he used to call out WWE, saying that what they were doing in Saudi Arabia with those crown jewel shows was blood money. But guess who performed in Saudi Arabia, or is performing in Saudi Arabia?
He's just turning heel.
CM
That's
Punk?
just part of the thing.
CM Punk
It's
is doing that.
Yeah. He's a champion, I think.
So Bill Burr also had plenty to say on this, and let me see if I can pull this up here as well. Here's what he had to say. He says that this was his point defending the experience. He goes, it's one of the top 3 experiences I've ever had. You think everybody's going to be screaming death to America, and they're going to have like fucking machetes and want to chop my head off, because that is what I've been fed to believe about this part of America, about this part of the world, excuse me. So that's BS as well. You were brought there under contract, and you were brought there as a celebrity. So your critique of whether it's death to America, you're the exception and not the rule. He says, it was a great experience, that part of the world, and to be that part of the first comedy festival over there in Saudi Arabia. The Royals loved the show. Everybody was happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled. Yeah, because you abided by the terms of the contract.
I'm sure it was a great time for everybody.
I'm sure it was a great time for everybody. 110%. I saw this really funny post. It says, really odd quote from him, uncharacteristically soft and uncritical. The check must have been fucking huge.
It must have been nice.
Look, this is the guy who talks about Luigi, who valorizes Luigi, right? So I was thinking about like, is this the type of thing where it's like a weird form of like cultural relativism? Is the Saudi Arabian government better than a U.S. pharmaceutical executive?
Obviously, no. They're not better than a
I know
US,
that. You know that. But you get my
pharma
point.
executive. The whole cultural relativism thing, it's beyond me how people can look at most other countries, like the vast majority of other countries, and say they are better than the United States. Like, even at the United States worst, we've been better than not only most of our contemporaries, but also most countries in history. Most governments in history.
I would say that. Yeah, I would agree with that.
And so the idea that you would be in Saudi Arabia criticizing the United States, I understand why it leaves a bad taste in people's mouths.
Like if all it was just them going to Saudi Arabia to do a comedy show, I'd be like, okay, fine. Like I said, WWE goes there all the time anyways. But they go there and they give, for instance, they give the women the option to not go. They don't have, the women do not have to go. I mean, everybody's given the option, but specifically the women, because they have to dress very differently when they go and perform in Saudi Arabia as opposed to how they perform when they're here in America. They understand that culturally, they're not necessarily going to see it the same way. But ironically enough, I imagine that most of those women would be hesitant to go online and criticize another culture because somebody's going to tell them that they're xenophobic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you see what Shane Gillis said about it?
What did he say?
I believe, and that was from that article you said, he said, you don't 9/11 your friends or something like that. Like Shane Gillis, I don't know if that's a direct quote, but that's what they put in the article.
Look, I mean, and when it comes to like 9/11, like even I don't believe that the government of Saudi Arabia was in the know about 9/11. Like, I don't think that the government of Saudi Arabia was like, oh yeah, we should help, just because they were a lot of Saudis. There's no more evidence that it was the government of Saudi Arabia involved than there was the government of Egypt. Just because two of the guys were Egyptian doesn't mean that
it was
Egypt was involved.
You know what that means?
So,
we're turning this whole conversation to dancing Israelis. And
of course it was the Jews.
Oh, jeez.
And the USS Liberty. Let's go!
Yeah.
The USS Liberty. Where's Ian when you need him?
Not just Ian, but what's a traveler? What's his name?
Weary Traveler.
Weary Traveler.
Weary Traveler would love that.
Yeah.
We're talking about USS Liberty, Weary Traveler.
One comedian, Tim Dillon, said he was disinvited to attend the event for an unearthed joke that he had previously made about Saudi Arabia, which arguably sends the message that if you wish to be invited to the Riyadh Comedy Festival in the future, you better not make jokes about the country, even if you're back at home. So again, free speech, it's under attack here in America.
Yeah, look, free speech means that you are free to speak.
Yeah.
And that also includes free to not speak because you're getting dollars.
Yeah.
Like the idea that that somehow being paid, and so you're like, all right, I will willingly go into this contract or enter into this agreement and not speak about these people. It's not it's not in any way an infringement on the freedom of speech if you're just like, well, I'm not going to talk about the kingdom because the kingdom is giving me a boatload of money. Like that is not violating the freedom of speech at all. You are literally free not to speak as well. That's something that people should probably do more of, right? You're free to shut your friggin' face,
especially on the internet.
You know?
I wonder what Dave Chappelle even meant when he said like he's gonna see that they're going to do something to him when he comes back. Like, what does that mean? First of all, Dave Chappelle is uncancelable.
Yeah.
As we've stated time and time again, they have tried
many times.
Many times they have tried. Just look at those Rotten Tomato ratings for his comedy specials with the critics versus the the audiences.
True.
And then look at the amount of people. And again, this is something where you do this long enough, you critique Hollywood or any of these celebrities long enough, and you're going to find yourself on opposite sides of the conversation on multiple times. Plenty of people agreed with him when he wanted to go out and criticize trans issues and talk about those things, and plenty of people did not like him at that point. And I wonder what they would say with the people who cheered it on when that guy got on stage. You remember when Dave Chappelle was on stage and a guy tried to stab him with a knife that had a gun that had a knife attached to it
2 years ago or something like that.
I wonder if the people who were cheering that on are now like, yes, Dave Chappelle is a bastion of free speech because he is criticizing the way that the Charlie Kirk discussion is happening in America. That's just the way it is, and it's depressing, but you should try and stay intellectually consistent on all of it. And I'm critical of him in this respect because it just seems like if you're not going to address the fact that there was a big fat contract with big fat stipulations attached to it, then I don't think you're being intellectually honest there. All right. So when was the last time you guys thought of Stephen King outside of like Stephen King being like the biggest TDS sufferer on Twitter? It's been a while.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for his new movie and I was like, oh, he's still around.
Okay.
That's about it.
So I learned recently, apparently, that Stephen King is the most banned author in the United States of America, according to a report from Penn. Put this up here. So a new report on book bans in the United States, in United States schools. So not bans in the United States, but in taxpayer-funded United States schools, finds that Stephen King is the author most likely to be censored, and the country divided between states actively restricting works and those attempting to limit or eliminate bans.
Because of the child sex in it, right?
Yes. No, it's not. It's not just that. So
a lot of smut.
So PEN America's Banned in the USA, which is about books banned from public schools, tracks more than 6,000 books that have been pulled between the 2024 and 2025 school year. 6,800 books, and that is down from the 10,000 books that were supposedly banned between 2023 and 2024. 80% of those bans are attributed to 3 states: Florida, Texas, and Tennessee. They are the ban hammer is heavy in those states, and 80% of the and then the other states, almost none. States like Illinois, Maryland, and New Jersey have actual laws in place that limit the authority of schools to pull books. Like, that's insane. If if the parents of students, who are the ones that pay the taxes that get those schools funded, want books pulled because they don't believe they're appropriate reading material for the students in their school, they absolutely should have a right to do that. And Stephen King was censored 206 times over 87 different books, from It to Carrie to to The Stand. Florida has more than 2,000 bans, and it's just a few counties that are responsible for the majority of the bans. I kind of love that Florida itself just really hates Stephen King.
They really
and every
do.
time he goes there, he's like, he feels particularly unwelcome.
Just go back to Maine.
Yeah,
In the mountains.
But what do you guys suppose the most banned book in all schools was? I mean, it's in the article, so I don't know if you read it, but what do you think it was?
I didn't read
I
it.
forgot to read it, but I'm going to go with the old favorite of Catcher in the Rye.
Any guesses?
I don't really have a guess, to be honest with you.
A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, really?
Anthony Burgess says A Clockwork Orange was banned. Has 23 separate removals for just that one book.
Really?
Also, Patricia McCormick's book Sold, which is of course about child sex slavery and abuse.
Of course.
I don't
There's
see why
one.
they banned that.
There's one thing that I want to point out here. These. I don't like the phrase banned.
That's why I'm using it, because it's insidious and they're using it on purpose.
It's not a ban. It's curation.
Yeah.
There are certain topics and books that are not fit for children. These books are all available at Amazon. You can get it at any bookstore. You can get them any place you want in the United States. Just because a school district decides we don't want this particular book in our school system for whatever reason, particularly these are adult themes that they're talking about usually, that does not make it a banned book, and it is just a rhetorical device at that point. It is not in any way truthful.
It's designed to make it seem like there's this large-scale government overreach. Yeah. The other question that I would have had for you guys... Oh, no, my other point is like leftists don't see your children as your own. They believe that they're the property of the state.
Yeah.
Yes, the librarian is the most insidious person in your children's lives. Parents have a right to know where their money is going and what it's being spent on. And like I said, Patricia McCormick's book is about like child sex slavery in Nepal. And has graphic, the book is not written that way, but the imagery is there, right? It's not pictures, but it's, having discussions about violent things happening to children is something a parent has a right to ask questions about. And Stephen King posted about this recently. He posted on X. He goes, I'm the most banned author in America. And of course, he's trying to tie that back to the Trump administration and make it seem, because he's being disingenuous, that this is something that Donald Trump is... He's the new Jimmy Kimmel, right? He's suddenly going to send the FCC after Stephen King to get him off the shelves. You can go to any bookstore, you can go to any public library and find the majority of Stephen King's work. He is very successful, right? It's just, you
can get his entire catalog off of, delivered right to your house off of Amazon.
Also, the thing
probably
I find...
audiobook too.
Yeah.
The other thing I find most annoying about this is if I were somebody on the opposite side of this discussion, I would try to look at this as a win for states' rights, which is that he's actually not banned in the majority of the country. In fact, the chances are that if you there's a good possibility that if you agree with Stephen King and you live in a state that reflects your values, you're going to be able to pick up his book at whatever public library, whatever school library you want, because they're not enacting something at the federal level. It's being done at the state level.
At the county level, even lower.
Yeah. And I'm just like, when you go to the bookstore now, which we do, Olivia loves to read, and I wish I loved to read more, but I see more Stephen King movies than I do books, and I don't even see that many of them. But it's like you go to like a Barnes and Noble or Board. I think there's like a couple of Borders left, and the bookstore has a section that says like banned books.
Do they now?
But they put it up there as like a selling point. Like, ooh, like, what's this book that I'm not supposed to be reading?
Risque.
And all it is just a book with creepy stuff that shouldn't be there. And they cite themes like LGBTQ themes, depictions of race, passages with violence or sexual violence, things that parents have a right to not introduce to their kids without their say so, right? Stephen King might be the worst of them, though. Like, of all the people, him and Mark Ruffalo might be the worst of the worst.
Mark Ruffalo's rising now. Like, Stephen King's been around kind of insufferable for a minute. And Mark Ruffalo too, but...
You just get tired of hating on one guy. You need a new guy to hate on,
It just seems like recently...
Rob Reiner.
Yeah, but he just made a... What's that? The metal... Spinal Tap. They made another one.
Yeah.
So, I hope it's good.
Who's the most annoying? If not Stephen King or... Mark Ruffalo, because those are the ones that always come to mind. Who's the most annoying of the celebrities?
Most annoying of
Who's the worst TDS beyond those two?
So you're talking about, if you're talking about actors?
Oh, anybody famous.
Celebrity, like famous people? Let me think.
Mark Ruffalo's bad. Pedro Pascal is bad.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal.
Rob Reiner is really bad.
thing is, like, no normal person knows who Rob Reiner is.
The guy that did the documentarist from Detroit, fat guy.
Oh, what's his name?
Director.
Oh, Michael Moore.
Michael Moore. Michael Moore is a classic. Yeah. He's bad.
They're all up there, and it's just very, very annoying. And I'm sick of seeing the cudgel that is the talking point of banned books, and how you're suddenly the fascist dictatorship is coming for you. And did you see the video of like Mark Ruffalo with the sideways hat on?
I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's the most annoying thing in the entire world, and the hyperbole and the extremes to which they discuss everything, and they don't operate in good faith. I will give Stephen King credit when he made his bullshit critique about Charlie Kirk. He at least walked it back because he didn't want to get sued. It's like the best you can hope for is like the guy with unlimited money at least walked back his claim because he didn't want to get sued into oblivion. But that's the worst of the worst. But apparently Stephen King is the most banned author in all of the country.
Yeah, if by banned you mean wasn't included in public schools.
That's exactly what they mean. All right, let's move on. I want to know what you guys think. So, like, generational discussions happen all the time on this show. We talk about Gen Z a lot. We talk about millennials a lot. We talk about trends a lot. One thing I was thinking about the other day was tipping. Like when you go to a restaurant, mainly because I'm starting to once again be inundated again with the images of like you go to a restaurant and and it gives you the screen for tipping and it starts at like 40%.
That's the worst.
Have you seen those? Have you seen those?
I lose my mind.
There was like a survey recently that said Gen Z was the least frequent tipper out of any generation. But then I saw another one from another company like earlier in the year that said that boomers are by far the worst tippers on planet Earth. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, who wins in all of this was like millennials. They said all of them, they're like, millennials are fantastic at tipping people.
I usually
millennials are fantastic at tipping.
That's what they're saying.
I mean, I give a standard 20% for the most part, unless I go to pick up a pizza and they flip it around and they say, you want to tip us? I'm like, no, I came here and I picked up the pizza. You did the work, but I did the legwork to go in there. You didn't have to deliver it.
I still
drives me crazy. I know.
I do 15.
No.
Usually the purchase is so small, I'm not going to notice a huge amount to the difference.
No, it's just I did the legwork. I got in my car. I spent gas money. I went there.
Well, I'm not picking up a pizza. Usually it's like if it's a Little Caesars and they're like tip. I'm like, you know what? I like you guys. I think you guys are the real winners. Waffle House gets all the credit. But did you see that video recently of the lady at the Little Caesars like destroying it because of they were charging $1 for the dipping cups?
That's crazy. $1?
Yeah.
$1?
So,
$1.
Waffle House gets all the glory, but really it's Little Caesars that are probably the warriors in society. What state do you think is the best out of all of them for tipping?
The best tipper. Best state.
Wait, chat, get your votes in now. What state do you think is the best state for tipping? I would be interested to see if anybody gets this one.
Not California.
No.
Not Florida. Not Massachusetts. I'm going to go with South Dakota.
South Dakota? Phil?
Florida.
Okay. Chat, I'm looking to see if there's anybody here with any guesses as to what they think. One person says NYC.
No.
Florida. Florida, New York.
I bet Utah's up there.
Look, I'm going to wait for a couple more here. High Voltage 75 says Minnesota.
No Google.
Justin Campbell says this was like from a specific survey, so they might not.
They might not get it.
Justin Campbell says North Carolina.
Vermont's a good guess.
Wooby Fun Time says Illinois. The answer is Delaware. The answer is Delaware. Out of all the states, it says, why do you think that is? No sales tax.
That's a big one.
And low taxes in general.
Yeah.
Low taxes in general. Now, guys, who do you think is the worst state for tips? And I want yours, and I want the chat's guess on who they think the worst state is for tips.
Well, for based on taxes, I'm going California. You can't take it because I already said it. I say California.
Well, you can both say the same thing.
No.
She's like, you can't take it.
Price is Right rules.
I think New York.
New York?
Yeah.
Worst state?
I'm not particularly heavily invested in this either. Like, if
now
it's
I am.
If it's wrong, if I'm right or if it's wrong, it's like, okay.
Now I'm invested.
Okay.
The answer is California.
Yeah.
And Washington.
Washington State?
Washington State. New York City, almost just as bad, they point out. And they said that's particularly bad because New York City is known for their restaurants.
That's what I was thinking.
That sucks, right?
Bad. Struggling actors, not only are they losing AI, they're losing their tips too.
I mean, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you're not going to, I guess, is that a job that's like AI proof? Like, yeah, certainly you're going to lose jobs when it's like a McDonald's and they're getting rid of cashiers. But if you're going to a sit-down restaurant, unless they're going to have like a Waymo robot delivering you your food.
It's not that far off in the future, I bet.
You think that's what's going to happen?
Farm to table, go up and get your own food.
You can pick which AI robot is going to deliver you your food. So of the people who tip at restaurants, it's crazy to me that it's not 100% if it's at a sit-down restaurant. 75% of Gen Z, 83% of millennials, 81% of Gen X, just 66% of boomers.
Tip?
Look, I know it seems like I'm always looking to dunk on boomers here. I'm not.
That's crazy.
I'm just giving you the numbers here. Do you think that now it's to the point that you were making earlier. Do you think that tipping has gone down because the prompts for tips showing up at places like coffee, like at your coffee house?
A friend of mine worked for one of these companies, and they were doing research on the prompting, and they had them do prompt and no prompt. And when they prompt, the subtle pressure does increase the chances of tipping,
110%.
as we all know now. But this is 10, 15 years ago. I would say the prompting now does decrease the chances of tip, or at least I will give less. Like if I'm going to get a burrito at Chipotle and they turn that around and they say 20, 35, 40%, I say other, and I do.
I think maybe the problem is like it's not that it lowers the chances you're going to get a tip, but there's no goodwill there anymore.
Yeah, no, it's I'm just like, meh.
Like last night we were at Target, and I was like I get like the CO2 canisters for like the soda stream, and you go in there and you exchange them. And the lady helping me was like just the nicest person in the entire world. And I was thinking about it when I was leaving. I was like, look, good. And of course, this is not you don't tip the customer service lady at Target. You could, I suppose. So I got tipped a couple of times when I worked at a Target photo lab. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it.
Like Metro, yeah.
Good customer service is like worth its weight in gold. Like the ability to give somebody the type of experience where when they're done, they leave with a good impression of the store is important. That matters, right? Like if you, there's absolutely times where even if I'm just in a bad mood when I go into a store, not when I go to regularly, I won't want to go in again. But if people are then feeling pressured to go and tip, it's like there isn't even the desire to do so because of good service. You're doing so because, like you said, it feels like it's peer pressure. I saw this one the other day. It says, lol, tipping culture is out of control. Forget going out, eat at home, eat healthier, and spend less. It says, leave a tip, not optional, 30%, 35%, 50%, or custom tip.
I love how they're like
custom
not optional.
Yeah.
Not optional. I glanced over that one real quick.
I mean, this, for all, again, this could be fake. I have no idea.
Probably, but still.
But the point is you do see this stuff now at coffee houses that are asking for tip, and they're just like, have you ever seen the memes where it's like, it's a pig with pink hair and earrings, and it says the Starbucks barista watching me hit no tip after she turned the thing around on me. Yeah. And then this one, let's see, I had one more here. Oh, no, I did not have one more. Where did the other one go? Oh, I thought I had another one.
Well,
okay.
To your point earlier when you were talking about like getting tipped and like wanting to come back, when we were speaking about this earlier, but when I was a garbage man in college, somebody left a 6-pack for a Christmas present outside, for us picking up their garbage. And I will tell you what, I made sure their trash was nice and neat and the barrels were all in the right places after that, because that 6-pack of beer was awesome. I wasn't expecting that.
I feel like that was more of a thing back when, like when the cops in your area actually lived in your town, or the mailman was actually from your neighborhood. Like, I don't know how common that even is now. Like, I don't assume when I see the person who delivers our mail that they live in our area.
It's few and far between. I mean, it's still obviously a thing, but
oh, go ahead.
Commuting is a thing,
And if you're an Amazon driver, you're never getting the same Amazon driver twice. At least you're not you'll get, like, if you order 5 things at Amazon, maybe a couple of them get delivered by the same person.
I get the same UPS driver.
I used to work at a medical supply company. I used to deliver like medical equipment and medications to like nursing homes and to hospice care facilities. And that was one of those things where at the holidays at some of the businesses they would give gifts,
gift cards, something
gift cards or something like that.
Just, hey, thanks for the help.
That was what it was, because you saw those same people several times a week. You do a route and you do. I don't know if it never happened to me, but people said it is because we were told not to.
Yeah, you don't accept
them.
tips.
Like you don't accept them,
but you accept it.
But the point is I grew to know several of those people because I interacted with them every day. So people would definitely leave gifts for people and that was common.
Do you think it's just more of a sign of our economy now and things getting more expensive, or more the cultural aspect, or a little bit of everything?
Cultural aspect.
You think?
I guess finances are part of it too. But one of the things they were pointing out was the trends among Gen Z was they just don't feel generous. And I'm like, look, I don't know if that's true. It's just they're poor. People are poor. They don't have the money to give extra.
And more to the bar culture for Gen Z, it is not like when I grew up, where it'd be like, oh, it's Thirsty Thursday, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna tear it down, and or Friday or Saturday going out to the bars and stuff. That culture is slow. Ever since
bars
COVID,
are kind of falling by the wayside.
Since COVID, it's really accelerated.
But it's more than just COVID. People aren't.
Well, that too. I'm saying I think COVID accelerated kind of with gasoline, that aspect, and these hipster bars where you get the nice fancy cocktails. They're kind of especially going to the wayside. You still get the sports bars, but it's not that same. I want a guy with a mustache and some pretension making me a what do I like? A Negroni.
I don't even want that. I want the grimy bar.
Oh, you like the dive bar?
That was so. Growing up in Minnesota, and we would go skate all over the state. And one of my favorite things about going outside of the city or even the suburbs was to find the small town bar after we skated in the nearest area, because it was unique to that place, and the people there had been there for years, and like you said, there's grime and there's dirt everywhere, but it's part of the character. It's got some soul, right? And that's kind of largely falling by the wayside now. And they're putting, where we live in Maryland, they're opening a tavern.
Ooh.
And I don't know if that means it's just going to be drinks. It didn't.
It's going to be food.
I'm hoping, but it didn't the way the layout of it was. I was I don't even know where they're going to put seats in there.
Oh, okay.
But I don't drink, but I would like a place that I could go to. We have a
little watering hole.
Yeah, to drink a kitty cocktail.
Yeah, there used to be a bar. There's still a bar, Ned Devine's.
Shirley Temple.
Yeah. There was a bar at Ned Devine's. Line would be out the door. It's a nightclub. But the line for the dive bar that was downstairs that sold $2 Miller High Lifes, really short, so I just go in there.
Yep. We got a 20 here from Gordon Shumway.
There we go.
He says, my anecdotal experience is that old people tend to tip less. I think it's usually because they always complain how expensive things are. I just want to say it's not 1990 anymore to these people. Yeah, like I said, I read 2 surveys. One of them said that it was Gen Z. The other one said that it was the boomers. I felt safe because they said the millennials were good either way.
We're good.
So we're good. And I'm a 30%. At least
30%.
Yeah.
I do at least 20. If you knock it out of the park, I'll throw you 30. Depends on my mood.
I think there was a time I was with somebody. I'm not name this person.
Okay.
And we were getting pizza and they didn't tip almost anything at all. And I kind of looked at them and they're they hit me with if they don't like it, they should get a different job.
Ooh,
and I'm bro,
that's not really. That's harsh. It's one thing if you went. Like I said, the delivery thing. If I went there to pick up the pizza, I get it.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting down, that's tough.
All right, guys, we got a bunch of super chats to get into today, so let's go ahead and get through that stuff. And it's a Friday. We're gonna chill the rest of the day, which is I love Fridays.
Good day. Fridays are the best.
All right, go here. Shane H. Wilder says, happy Friday, Brett and Phil. Ordering the coffee now so I can hopefully film a new Cast Brew short next week. It'll be spooky.
It will be spooky.
He posted that. He sent that super chat before I even plugged the coffee at the beginning of the show. Shane H. Wilder is always on his game.
We have another one coming out too.
He adds, mea culpa, Charlie. You aren't in the show notes. How's it going, homie? I think he is in the show notes.
I think I'm there.
You saw me at it.
I saw my name. You said
He's
Charles.
In there. Trump dance?
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Okay, thank you guys for that.
Thank you.
Mary lives to fight another day. Assuming we get the 2 crisis parties on Monday, she will be back on Tuesday.
Keep the streak going.
I'm pretty sure she'll be back.
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion as well. Shane H. Wilder says it could be cool, but what about this? Is the whole thing actually set up by the studio to garner interest in the show, meaning everyone is in on it? I mean, that's what I mean, if we're talking about the Hawk Tua thing, I don't necessarily think so. No.
AstroTurfing's a real thing.
Yep. All right. No Control says agents really think they will be around after AI. Studios will just make their own actors and won't be paying agents a percentage.
Got the bottom line.
Yeah. Corey Anderson says, I would rather pay to see an AI movie that I'm going to read this verbatim. That a sack movie. That's what he said.
What?
I think he meant then a bad movie.
Probably.
Calling them synthetics reminds me of Fallout 4. Also, unions suck. Yes, they do.
Also, wasn't Avatar it wasn't AI, but I mean,
no.
It's just a lot of art.
It's CGI, but
CGI,
that's a
different.
lot of artists that go into doing that. That's
Fair.
not the same thing. Corey, that's going to really drive James Cameron crazy if people start calling his work AI.
See?
Actually, I kind of co-sign that because
there we
if
go.
you didn't know it, James Cameron is one of those guys who's really, really opinionated and he gets really, really visceral when he gets mad. So I kind of would live for those interviews.
So Avatar's just AI. It's a fact.
It's awesome. All right. No Control says, how does this comedy show compare to Metallica and Pantera performing in Russia? Phil?
I mean, how does it compare to Metallica?
I mean, but I guess the idea is I'm
guessing
Metallica wasn't like America doesn't rock while they were
they're spreading capitalism.
Yeah, they were spreading American American culture and stuff. And there was like 1 million people watching the Metallica show.
A lot of people.
1 million.
Yeah.
Like, not kidding. Like,
no, I believe I've seen video and it's crazy.
Yeah, so it's not even in the same ballpark. Like it was such a massive thing because I mean the Soviets had never really seen that, or if they did, it was smuggled in. There had never been a rock show there. So
I think I saw that when the U.S. slapped Russia with sanctions in 2021 again, Putin legalized all piracy.
Did he? That's funny.
Probably.
That makes me laugh. All right. Prince Elian says, I don't agree with Dave, but I'll give him some grace. He could have been low-key sarcastically taking a double dig at both his country and the U.S. Yeah,
maybe.
That was kind of my point. Like I said, I referenced the fact that was in the middle of the special because theoretically, if it's really, really well made, he could be taking a dig at both of them and you wouldn't know it. I don't know that, but I tend to like Dave, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But it is interesting that if that is true, to be an artist of a certain caliber, you have to kind of be okay with being misinterpreted. Like saying that joke, knowing that people aren't going to understand the comment you're making. And he's never going to confirm anyways, because he's going to want to go back when they do Riyadh Comedy 2 Electric Boogaloo, and he wants to make another $1 million.
It's not going to be released so we can see it, is it? No, probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Oh, I don't know.
Or maybe he just does the skit over here, and then we'll be like, oh, that's what he meant.
Leisha says, I get comedians wanting to make bank. Most people wouldn't turn it down, but considering 9/11 victims' families can sue Saudi Arabia and there's legislation to support it, in Saudi government, I'm sorry, I'm reading it as it is, isn't blameless here. So they're saying that there's legislation to sue the Saudis from 9/11 families. Do you know about this?
I mean, I know that there was legislation, or there was an attempt to sue the Saudis, but I don't think that the Saudi, I don't think the crown is responsible for it. I don't see how they're going to blame the Saudis.
I'm sorry,
they can try.
YouTube's biggest problem for me is that on my little monitor here, I can never see the periods in the sentences when I'm trying to read it.
I don't think there was many on that one.
Corey Anderson says mixing Vicodin and alcohol. Let's effing go. Don't do that.
No, that's a bad idea.
Don't do that. Hopefully it works eventually. Again, don't do that. I do not co-sign and I disavow. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. Corn Pop says my celebrity crush is Queen Latifah.
I don't blame you. I get it. I get it.
Say what you want, but Queen Latifah was fantastic in the movie The Bone Collector with Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie. She's fantastic. I haven't watched her television version of The Equalizer. I don't really know if I buy her as The Equalizer.
I just think of that Jimmy Fallon movie where they drive a taxi all the time. Is it Taxi Driver or something like that?
That's a different movie.
You've never seen that one?
That's a different movie.
Taxi Driver's very
I know Taxi Driver's different. That's, yeah.
Dingus Khan says Rob Reiner is a meathead. Archibald Bunker.
Yes, he is.
Corey Anderson says, I tip a standard 30%. However, I increase the tip if they are attractive, have kids, or are funny.
Fair.
How do you know they have kids?
They talk about it in conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, people mention kids if you got kids, I guess. Right?
Okay. The Manic Mustache says, late as usual, but apropos to being tighter than a frog's hoo-ha. As a retired bartender, I always tip waitstaff and bartenders. If it's fast food, you're SOL.
Fair.
See, that would make me feel better about saying no then. If somebody who worked in the industry says no, then I can say no too.
Yeah,
I always just hit 15%.
So you can say no in the fast food.
All right. John Goodwin says, have any of you seen Space King? I know to praise Space King. I know that. All right. Gordon Shumway says, years ago, I had an acquaintance who went out to eat with my friend group. He thought he was being cool by quoting Reservoir Dogs and say, I don't tip. We had to cover his tip and never went out with him again. And he never went out with us again.
That'll happen. Yeah. People will look at you and be like, "Oh, you suck."
Mm-hmm. Shane H. Wilder says, mea culpa, Brett. I'm just tarded and can't read correctly. Charles' name was in there. I'm trying to finish filming on video for Timcast Toys. Then I get to turn around and film an out-of-body experience for Cast Brew. Locking in. I swear reading the super... I'm already the world's worst reader. Like, I can read, but reading out loud is like... It's not my skill set, and reading the super chats is like... sometimes I think they send super chats on purpose to make it not legible, to make me sound dumb, which is not hard at all.
Now they will.
I think they already do, but I'm pretty sure that they do that to begin with. But yeah, so I'm gonna put it back up on screen now, so you guys can know to go and pick it up. There it is, Mary's Ghost Blend.
S'mores flavor. It's spooky.
That does sound good to me right now.
She does look sufficiently creepy.
With the eyes?
The eyes. Yeah. Jess did a great job. Shout out, Jess.
Jessica does great work as always. I'm going to put it in the live chat right now for you, those of you who are not checking the description box.
We also have another one coming out soon. Hazelnut. Hazelnut blend.
Jeff Gann, who's always there to check me in the chat, says maybe lay off AI slop that turns people into effing tards. Fair. No, bro, I'm just a bad reader. That had nothing to do with any of that. Sorry, man. No Control says, I had a friend who I had a friend when you split the check would see how much you tip, then reduce his tip so it would only total out to 15%.
Well, that's clever.
That is horrible.
That's one way to do it.
That's horrible. That's not good. Phil, when you were talking about whether Metallica doing the halftime show, is that like, because they were talking about Russia and all of that stuff there, like, do you think there's anybody else besides Metallica that would be like a really good halftime show? We brought this up because me and Charles were talking sports before the show. We were talking about the halftime show, and I was talking about the fact that in my opinion, I don't think that the average, unless you're extremely politically brained, you're not going to skip the Super Bowl because you don't like the halftime show.
I'll skip the halftime show, and I'm not going to skip the Super Bowl. I'm going to watch my bets lose and have a beer and be happy.
You excited to make bets and lose this year?
I already have been.
Do you always lose?
More often than not. Sometimes I get lucky, and then it's just a little dopamine hit.
Yeah.
I'm very good at losing, though.
Who else would you do?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure that there are a lot of bands that could make people. I do think that like Nickelback might actually make a lot of people happy.
Canadian.
Creed.
I don't know that Canadian matters.
I'm joking because Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican, and they're making jokes about Bad Bunny doing it. I'm like, what's worse than having a Puerto Rican do it? Having a Canadian do it.
Yeah, I mean, Bad Bunny's like, I know that Puerto Ricans don't like to admit this, but they're Americans.
I know, and the joke is that please know that it's a joke. The point is that did you see Danica Patrick's comments about how like they should ban doing the Super Bowl if you don't do the songs in English?
No, I didn't see that. It
made me laugh. And somebody was like, and somebody called her racist, and somebody goes, look, I actually like Bad Bunny and I speak Spanish, but the idea that expecting Americans to speak the language of the country, like expecting the people in the country to speak the language of the country at one of the biggest events in their country is not racist.
Yeah. It's not. And there have been a lot of people in the past 30, 40 years that have convinced Americans that anytime you disagree or have any criticism of someone that is brown or black or speaks a different language, that it's automatically racist to voice your opinion or what have you. And I think that's something that Americans need to get over. Right? Yeah. Like you're not your skin color or your different ethnicity does not insulate you from criticism from someone else just because of their skin color. Because basically, it boils down to if you're a white person criticizing a person of color or a non-English speaker, it's because you're racist, because you're xenophobic, not because there's legitimate arguments for having all Americans be able to speak English and what have you.
I think that part of that is like, look, before the age of social media, you didn't get into a lot of those types of discussions with people outside of like your family and friends who like they know enough about you to know that you're not a bad person. So they're going to engage with your discussion with more honesty than somebody who doesn't know anything about you and will just take whatever you say in the worst possible context.
You used to be able to just disagree and have a beer and just be cool, but now, not so much. Yeah. It's hard. I mean, you still can with your close friends, but like, I don't know. It's weird.
Even then, that depends on, like, I see posts all the time from people like, it finally happened. I had people that I've been close to my whole life unfriend me or block me because of something I said, and that bums me out. That bums me out in a lot of ways.
I mean, I've kind of got used to it, to be honest with you, because that's just...
That's the way it is.
Yeah, that's the way it is today, and it's not at least for me. It's not new or hasn't not just in the past 5 years. Like that's something that's been going on for well over a decade, probably going on 13, 14 years now.
We got some Rumble rants. Glad I went and checked. Okay, Adobe Kenobi, which is still the greatest username on any platform. I applaud you every time, sir. Happy Friday. Just saw The Smashing Machine last night. It was fantastic. I watched Jeremy John's review, and Jeremy Johns is the only movie reviewer that I trust. And not to say that I would not go see a movie that he doesn't like, but that his taste tends to align pretty closely to mine. And he's like, it's not great. He gave it the I'm not going to remember it in T-5 days, I think is what he gave it.
Fair. There's a lot of movies these days, sadly.
Let's see here. He said like the majority of the buzz around the movie. Oh, he pointed out, he goes like, any movie where they give the article, it says it got a 15-minute standing ovation at this film festival, never lives up to those expectations. All right. Jolly 1976 says the worst tipper is gore. Yes, that is.
Nice one.
What's Tipper Gore doing these days?
Ron Perlman. That's a good one. That's Ron Perlman. That is a good one.
Broody Gambit says Ron Perlman. You brought him up a few days ago, but he's absolutely insane with his he put TDR, but he means TDS. Yeah. They're out to make me worse at speaking than I already am. But you are correct. Broody Gambit, 110%.
Oh, he's back.
Adobe Kenobi says, instead of Stephen King, read the manuscripts from Alan Wake 1 and 2. They are much better reads. Okay. All right.
If you say so.
All right. Again, I don't know how to pronounce this name. I don't know if it's Spruel.
Spruel.
Yeah, we'll go with what he just. We'll go with what Chuck just said. Close enough to the name yesterday. I don't even remember what I said yesterday. Bro, I'm so sorry. I don't even remember what I said yesterday, but if I hope it's close enough. Close enough on the name yesterday. I agree with you on the tips, Brett. We're all just too broke and tired of getting asked everywhere we go. Like I said, I stick to 30, but I also don't go a lot of places that, like 30 and above, but I don't go a lot of places that require tips. But if I do go out, they're working. Broody Gambit says, oh my goodness, I love The Bone Collector. Also frequently bring it up during discussions of thriller or mystery movies. No one I ever talk to knows about it. Yeah. I love that movie. It's came out in 99 and is like one of my first introductions to the idea of forensic evidence being used in a movie or a television show. Obviously, it's based on a book, but I didn't read. Like I said, I didn't read the book. I watched the movie, and the character of Lincoln Rhyme was like a forensic investigator. He's like a crime scene investigator who gets like. Now I don't know if this is the same in the books, but he gets like a giant pipe, like basically severs his spinal column, and he's like stuck in a wheelchair, and he helps them solve crimes stuck in a hospital bed. He can only move his hands and his very little, like his fingers. Yeah. He has like no movement at all, and it's what's past quadriplegic? It's paraplegic, quadriplegic,
and very bad day.
I thought it was just fully paralyzed.
Paralyzed.
Okay, so I don't know if he's a paraplegic, but it's a great movie, and it's one of Angelina Jolie's early roles. She's fantastic in that movie.
Is it like Bones, but a movie?
No. It's more of like a thriller about trying to figure out who this serial killer is in New York. And it's what I was kind of talking about during the Q&A stream. Like, you're never gonna recapture that magic of what it was like. And it's not like 1999 was like the bad old days for New York City, but it was still grimier than it is now. And you can't recapture that magic of grimy New York City in 1999.
With the new mayor, you'll get there soon.
Yeah. All right. Adobe Kenobi says, Phil, I loved your X post about Batman being a furry goth. God bless y'all.
That was true.
I saw that.
That was good.
It's true. I mean, I don't see where the lie is. He is a goth furry.
Look, okay, like, no. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because when you're insane to people and you're poor, people are like, you're insane. But if you're insane and you're rich, they call you eccentric. So if you're a goth furry and you're poor, you're just a goth furry. But if you're a goth furry and you're rich, you're Batman.
Batman is a goth furry.
No.
So the defining moment, the line here is we're saying is money.
It's his wealth.
Okay.
It's his wealth. Like he says in Justice League, I'm rich.
I mean,
and a goth furry.
I mean,
I saw the other picture the other day. They took it from like Batman Beyond, and they put the trans flag on his cape.
Yeah, I saw that. I retweeted that and said something about how ridiculous it was, and it's got like 1 million views.
No Control says, keep Bunny. We'll wake up the normies. I don't think it will.
No, they're just not going to watch the halftime show.
I think they'll still watch. I don't think they care.
They'll skip the halftime show, and they'll go get the pizza. They'll just walk away, do whatever it is, go to the bathroom, and then come back and be like, oh, how was the show?
They'll ask what the difference is between this and Shakira, other than shaking butts.
Well, yeah, they're both going to be dressed in a dress. They're both going to look like they have boobs. I'm willing to bet
up in a dress.
I'm willing to bet that he's going to show up in a dress.
He's going to wear something weird, but I hope he doesn't have boobs.
Look, he'll have a costume change.
Well, they all do.
And one of the costumes will be him dressed up like a woman.
Yeah.
If he does that,
doesn't he? That's his thing, right?
Normies will point that out then.
I think we just need to make Metallica or a Dave Matthews Band halftime show.
Okay.
Dave Matthews would make no. I'm a. Big
it wouldn't
fan,
make sense.
I'm a very big fan of Dave Matthews.
It would not
band,
make sense.
Have you ever seen?
No, it's not about making sense. It would make no one happy.
Good.
Like
yeah,
I love Dave Matthews, but people would not like that.
Have you ever seen the video of him like dancing around like this, and the quote on top says, "There isn't a single song in the Dave Matthews catalog that justifies this."
He just lives his best life. Did you see that they're vindicated with the whole Chicago poop thing?
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know about the Dave Matthews tour bus dropping their poop into the river?
No.
They dropped the poop into the river in one of the boats, right on the boat over everybody.
No.
But I guess there's more lore to this. I think it was either 311. I think it was 311 was also on tour at the same time.
It's their fault?
And people are speculating, and this is a very niche aspect of the internet, that 311 is actually the poop culprits.
Okay.
Or maybe it's the Offspring. I think it's 311.
I just yesterday, that's funny that you brought it up, since I'm always looking for a way to reference the television show House. I just watched the episode from season 3 where Dave Matthews plays a savant with brain damage who can't button his shirt, and his dad is played by Red Foreman from That 70s Show. The guy who plays Red from That 70s Show.
I haven't seen that episode.
Which is funny because he has a son named Eric Foreman in that show, and the character played by Omar Epps in the show House is Eric Foreman. Coincidence?
Full
or is
circle.
it God speaking to us through facts? All right, Not That John Stewart says, I know for a while Mark Hamill was real bad on the TDS, but after Charlie, it seems he saw the hate in people and said it was wrong. That'll last like a week, and then they'll go back to... I don't mean to sound callous, but I don't buy it. I don't buy it. That type of hate is hard to grind out of a person.
The force is strong with that one.
Corn Pop says, linguistic spec. Man name Nana, man Nana. Man Nana, man Nana.
Okay.
Thank you.
The Human Torch got declined a bank loan. That's my favorite.
All right. Olivia Dasovic, thank you for the super chat. It should be noted, with usually go to the same She's doing it too. She meant we usually go to the... Did you do this on purpose? Did you do this on purpose? It should be noted, with usually go to the same Mexican restaurant, so we always tip them well. Hi, Phil. Charlie's. Can I get a bag of that new coffee? I don't think do we have any here?
We don't have any here.
I don't have any in my pockets right now to give you.
It's like,
we can set that up. We can get it arranged.
Okay. Sorry, we got to pay for it. No favoritism here.
No nepotism.
Not in this house.
No nepotism.
Yep. All right. Make sure that we're all caught up on everything. Yeah, I don't buy that Mark Hamill has just suddenly changed his mind and is suddenly gonna start behaving differently. I suppose you could make the argument that the tragedy of what happened to Charlie Kirk is something that could theoretically change a person in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. But the people that are like the most toxic online posters, like a Mark Hamill always was, like, I just don't know if I buy that it's gonna change somebody long term.
I feel like it makes people dig their heels even more that are that toxic most of the time.
Oftentimes,
which is sad.
Yeah.
But some people have revelations and they change a little bit.
I would welcome it. I would welcome it from somebody. But it's so hard because so much of that discourse is about you're critiquing like the deepest part of a person's worldview, and it's going to be very hard for a person to both, come around to the idea that other people aren't evil and not like feel like they're having their own worldview attacked. Plus, then the people that have always supported them are going to turn on them.
Yeah, Gad Sad did a good segment talking about more so religion and political views. Like, even when you present the most facts to somebody and you debunked everything, they just kind of, instead of saying, oh yeah, you're kind of right, they just dig their heels in and they revert back and become more emotionally based and charged.
You have to come to you have to come to new truths on your own. You can't show it to someone.
Yeah, I can't berate you and be like, The Wire's terrible, this is why, and nor would I, because I love The Wire. But
yes,
season 2 is the best.
I mean, I don't know about all that.
No, it is. It is hands down the best season.
That might be okay, guys. Anybody who's a fan of The Wire knows that what he just said might be the most controversial thing ever stated on this podcast. That season 2 of all the Polish people down at the docks is the best season of The Wire.
Fact.
It's not a fact. It's the opposite of a fact.
What was is it Vinny or Mickey? What was the kid's name? The dumb cousin?
Vinny, right?
Vinny, right?
My cousin Vinny?
No. It was the character's name. He's like Vinny.
Somebody will know in the chat. I never watched. I always skip season 2.
You can't. It ties in everything. It's the whole thing.
I watch 1 and 3 the most.
Well, I mean, 3 is really good.
All right. Easy E says, I hope it's the real Easy E from heaven. Brett is unaware of the sheer volume of upper tax bracket furries. If you can buy a $15,000 mascot costume, you're rich enough to be eccentric, not crazy.
Yeah, fair. Good point.
But also a goth furry.
Listen,
We don't kink shame Batman.
again, like when you're rich, you're not weird. You're eccentric. You're only weird if you're poor. It's for the
It's the
poors.
status quo of things.
I'm always gonna be weird. I'm never gonna be eccentric. I would love to be eccentric. All right. Value and use says, "Uh-oh, Brett is triggered." I mean, yeah. Talking about, I'm gonna send you a link. I have this amazing. This dude made a 4-hour video on The Wire. I'm gonna send it to you. It's amazing.
I don't know if I can watch 4 hours, but I might have to.
You just put it on when you go to work, and
Yeah,
then,
podcast it. You'll listen to
I
it.
put it on when you go to work.
Put it on when you go to
you're-
sleep.
that's
At
what I
work.
do. I mean, like literally, that's all I watch is like I don't even watch a YouTube video now unless it's over 2.5 hours.
Fair.
Like I'm looking for something that's gonna make it through the week's commute. So it's like if something is an hour and a half, I'm like, okay, that gets me like one one trip to and from work, and then maybe a trip back to work. So I'm looking for as much as I can to get me to and from work, back and forth every day.
I get the daily fantasy football podcast I listen to, and then American Dad when I go to bed.
Phil, what do you listen to?
Mostly YouTube stuff.
Like what?
I listen to Tom Bilyeu a lot. I tend to listen to a lot of Asmongold's streams as YouTube clips.
I like.
I listen to
You listen to Papa Meat?
No.
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 Oh, okay. I like Papa Meat.
Let's see. I listen to Tim generally. I like Nuxanor. I listen to the Morning Wire from the Daily Wire. I listen to the All In podcast just about every week. I listen to Sargon. A lot of gun stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean okay, so that's the stuff I get for shorts. Like I get a lot of content for shorts that's around gun. I just watched an 8-minute video, how like the longest form gun content I've watched in a while that wasn't like T-Rex arms or anything like that. It was like what's his name? The one dude. He's been on IRL.
Lucas Bakken?
No. Oh no, I don't know. Never mind. It's Colleen Noir.
Okay.
Well, Colleen Noir is great.
Like breaking down like a specific rifle from Special Ops Lioness and stuff like that. So that was really, really good.
I like Fat Electrician for his history stuff.
Yeah, he's great.
He's the best.
All right. Vodka J Bulls says Optical Overlord. You mentioned yesterday it's almost as
Nope.
That's my own fault.
Would you like me to try it?
No, I got it. Optical Overlord. You mentioned GoldenEye yesterday. It's almost as legend spiritual sequel is 007.
Nightfire for
Nightfire.
PS2.
I read that correctly though.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost as legend spiritual sequel is.
They are not making it easy.
Like, he had to cut it up.
I never played Nightfire on PS2. He says GameCube and Xbox. It released in 2002, and I still play it today on my Wii. Hey Phil. P.S. Boys. Bro, everybody just hates.
What's going on,
me.
homie?
You ever play Perfect Dark? That's the best one.
On 64?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's-
Oh yeah.
that's-
Perfect Dark's great.
Perfect
I
Dark's
still play
amazing.
GoldenEye more, but Perfect Dark is an underrated one.
You still play GoldenEye?
Yep. I have like a standalone emulator and a real 64, and I don't use the emulator much because the frame rate is too high and it doesn't play like an actual.
It doesn't do the same thing.
But I play my original N64 quite a bit. It's about time to replace it. The games don't always
Yes.
Diddy was sentenced to prison. Diddy
How
was
long?
50 months.
That's it.
That's it.
50?
Really?
Yeah.
50?
They asked for like 11
5-0?
years. Yeah.
5-0?
I thought he was gonna get that. I thought he'd get like a couple of years.
I mean, that's
4
years.
I thought he'd
That's
get
50 months is 4 years.
Oh, they said 15.
5-0.
Oh,
5-0.
okay.
5-0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about.
That's about. They were asking for 5 years. They wanted.
Yeah. No, they asked for 11, I think.
Split the baby.
He had already booked speaking engagements
Not anymore.
before.
Oops.
I don't know if he's remanded immediately or what happens, but yeah, like he was like, I don't know if he was just expecting to get off, but yeah, 4 years. That's about right. Yeah, that was one of those things. We don't follow like the court cases. Like that's only interesting in these spaces if you're like a lawyer who can comment.
The
on it.
legalese.
Yeah,
That's for LawTube.
exactly. Dingus Khan of Gongolia says, Brett, are you going to go on Inverted World Live? Even Phil has been on.
Ooh.
I mean,
We have fun.
maybe. If they, I mean, I don't know who would want me on Inverted World Live. I would have nothing to contribute. I barely have anything to contribute here.
We just talk about the conspiracies of the Wire.
Oh, that's a great idea. I mean, we could talk about like demons in Hollywood, I guess, but even that. So
Demons in Hollywood.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talking to them, standing on business.
It is different hearing it down there instead of my office.
I told you.
My office is literally right above the studio, and my floor shakes, and I'm like, oh. The one you had a few months ago when it was, I think it was one of the first filierations here. That one startled me a few times. In the beginning. Yeah, it got me. It rocked my office.
All right.
yeah.
Okay. No Control says 50 Month is awesome since he's been beefing with 50 Cent. I mean, 50 Cent is 50 Cent is hilarious. He is the most petty human being on planet Earth, and it's hilarious to watch how much he doesn't like Diddy and how much he's been trolling him the whole time.
His beef with Mayweather is amazing. I'll donate all this money if you just read one paragraph from Harry Potter.
I mean, that would be like asking me to do it, and I'd fail too.
Fair.
I wouldn't be able to do that as well. It'd be just as bad. I'm the worst when it comes to reading. But 50 months.
Yeah, it is. That's what they decided.
I don't know. I'd be interested to know what Colonel Kurtz is going to have to say about that. She's followed that case very closely. She knows more about it than I do. Jeff Gann says, why is the audio actually in the room and not fed into the stream? Because the whole point when the crisis party was conceived was that it startled the guests. But the thing is if it's going to be enough to startle the guests in the headphones, it's going to, blow out the speakers for them. I don't want to have to adjust their audio volume just for the crisis party. And, it's more fun that way.
What happened to the money guns? I haven't seen any money flying around.
So the thing is when the
every day you have to clean up money.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. I know.
So before our cameras were in the middle. You can't really. Let me see if I don't know how wide this shot is right now. It's not very wide. So the cameras were in the middle of these tables. Yeah. Mine and Mary's were. So the money would fly right past the cameras.
Oh, so it was kind of cool. Yeah.
You would look it now because the cameras have been moved to the walls. The money doesn't show up on any of the cameras, so it was kind of unnecessary. Yeah, it was kind of unnecessary. Then you just end up cleaning money up every day for nothing.
Because it's not. Is it real money? It's real money.
No. Right? Yeah. Oh, yes. Of course. We only use real money.
Well, crisp $100 bills.
That's of course. That's what it is.
Crisp $100 bills that
Corn Pop says
Brett every day.
Corn Pop.
Let's stay crisp.
Corn Pop says Brett is getting very lazy. He doesn't like to pick up the money anymore. Well, that's not true because I didn't pick up. Mary picked up the money, not me. I did the editing and did all the post production. Mary picked up the money. Now Mary does the timestamps, which I hate doing, and now we don't even do those during the week when she's gone because
we just let it rip.
On the days when I was here, I used to pick up the money, or I used to help picking up the money, but I stopped. I mean, I was doing it for a good year. Like I did it for a long time. I was like, I don't want to.
No, okay. So I used to make the joke to guests where I was like, look, I never expected guests to. Like if we flew them out to be on the show, like it's not your
they don't pick up the money.
But I used to make the joke was like, but I do keep a ledger of who asks if we need help or not. That way I'm like, look, you don't need to do it, but you better at least offer.
It's like tipping.
This is being
like tip culture.
What, don't you know what being polite is?
I think I stopped once I went full time on IRL because I was like, look, I got to get out of here and go home and change or not change, but get some food and then get back. So.
Vicente Aguilar says Irene Moore about the IDS, unless it's the LDS, and that's just not capitalized. The LDS weekend on YouTube. I have no idea what any of that means. If it's the IDS, I don't know what that is. If it's the Church of Latter-day Saints, I don't know what you're talking about.
But thank you for the
you for the super chat. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Seriously, you know what I need to do? I need to like get the text on the screen blown up so that I need to get a bigger monitor here.
Like a boomer zoom.
When I was at my wedding, I was like, I don't remember. It was like my brother and my dad or somebody else, and I was like looking at the size of the text on their text on the phone. I'm like, oh my god, it's humongous. Mine is not even close to that big.
Boomer zoom.
Yep, boomer zoom. I need to do that. Olivia Dasovic says it's 100% autocorrect. It's 100% YouTube autocorrect. It's so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that because then it's not my fault.
Sure.
Then it's on you guys and not me. It's your guys' fault and not my own. All right, double check over on Rumble. Oh, guys, by the way, I know I mentioned it the other day, but we passed 15K on Rumble, so thank you guys so much for that. Like, we didn't start Rumble till like very recently, so any growth on Rumble is it's a big deal to us, so thank you guys so much for doing that over there.
Hit that like button.
Yep, hit the like button on
Rumble.
Yep. Dingus Khan says bread is far too reasonable for Inverted World. Actually, you know what? I might like it more because it's not like I don't have to feel like I need to be reasonable.
All you do is go on there and tell everyone that you don't believe anything they're saying. That's what I did.
The trick.
It's great. It's great. You just go on there and you automatically bond with Brandon. Yeah. And you just sit there and poo face it. Nope.
Brandon loves doing that. Brandon's
don't buy
nope,
it.
No way.
Yep, me too.
Yesterday,
I'm right there with him.
literally yesterday, I went and looked at the Inverted World YouTube channel, and just the names of the segment videos was too much for me.
They get some deep stories.
They get into some deep stuff. All right.
My butt.
Oh,
That's
I think
not
it
true.
was.
High Voltage 75 says, enjoy those cinnamon rolls, Brett. Olivia said she was making cinnamon rolls. Are you making those right now?
Ooh.
That's awesome.
There we go. Let's go. It is the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Chile says it is the church. It's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Sorry. Well, he didn't say that in the thing.
Gotta be specific.
I apologize. My answer for aliens would be like, look, I tend to be one of those people who's like, look, in an infinite number of planets, on an infinite number of galaxies and whatnot, like, is it likely that we're the only people here? I don't find that very likely, but I also don't think about it that often.
Well, I feel that alien, the definition, it could literally just be a microbe on a random planet, and that is technically an alien being. I'm not saying big head Martian dude, but there's probably something out there.
Okay, that's not even a fair conversation. When people say alien, they're not thinking about microbes, they're not thinking about bacteria, they're thinking about big round-headed aliens or Superman, meaning looking like us and aliens.
Well, they should change how they think.
I mean that's okay, so how about that? Could I go on in an Inverted World and discuss the ethics of Superman sleeping with Lois Lane given the fact that he's technically not a human life form?
I hate this conversation
Probably.
already and it hasn't even started.
You probably could though.
See, that's the type of stuff I miss out on because I don't do drugs anymore. That's the thing. Like,
interbeing relations.
Okay, I don't know if she's really like, what are those kids gonna be like? Do they get dual citizenship with Krypton if it still existed? I want to know.
Yeah, they would be illegal aliens, wouldn't they? Would they just get rid of the whole birthright citizenship? They'd be screwed.
I see everybody was talking about they're talking more about the twist with Nazi Earth X in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And I pointed out that it was done way better in the Arrowverse when they did Crisis on Earth X over 4 episodes because you got evil Overgirl and evil Oliver, and it was way better.
They did not hit the mark?
I guess evil Overgirl is redundant because the character of Overgirl is evil. But, I don't care about conversations on race and superhero shows.
Fair.
Like, it was the plot of...
I don't care about conversations on race.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm so over them.
I agree.
Like, that's been the focus of everything, like...
For the past...
for like 15 years, it's been just shoved down your throat. Ever since Barack Obama's...
2012.
Ever since Barack Obama's second term. So I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't care what anyone else's opinion is on race. I don't care.
Somebody pointed out there's a point where Peacemaker looks at this mural and he goes, how did I miss that? And it's literally it's Hitler holding an American flag. And somebody goes, imagine you got hired by DC and you get there on your first day and they're like, we need you to paint this.
You're just like, well, okay.
That made me laugh. All right. Double check and make sure that we're caught up on everything, guys. TGIF. I am so happy that it's Friday. Maybe I will end up on Inverted World.
TTIF?
You're speaking into the ether. So.
It was TGIF.
I said TGIF.
No, you said something else.
Oh. Okay. Well, I meant TGIF.
Yeah.
All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the videos and the segments out with everybody that you know. The more people that you share the channel with, the faster this channel can grow. We will have segments coming out all weekend, and I want to remind you guys to go and check out Mary's new coffee blend over at castbrew.com. And remember, Mary will be back on Tuesday, which I'm sure you guys are all looking forward to not putting up with me anymore. So thank you, Charles.
Thank you for having me.
Where can they find you? Are you going? Oh wait, so are you going right from here to?
I'm going
Gamermates?
right here. So you can, it should segue right to Gamermates. So if you stick around, you get to see me and Chris Poole play the new Black Ops game. Spoiler alert: it's kind of like all the other ones, but shocking. But you can follow me at Frank_TrueBlue on X. Go to castbrew.com, like Brett said. Buy coffee. Shop.boonieshq.com, buy skateboards and t-shirts. I think that's all I have to shill. Thanks for having me, Phil.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. The band is All That Remains. We're going on tour next year. We just announced we're going to be at the, I think it's the Louder Than Life. No, Welcome to Rockville. Yeah, Welcome to Rockville in May. And we've got a bunch of shows that we're going to be announcing in the coming months surrounding that show. So you can check us out on YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, and Deezer. Remember, the band is called All That Remains. You can follow our Instagram page. It's All That Remains. I think it's at All That Remains on Instagram as well. I don't go on Instagram nearly as much as I used to, so. But I think it's All That Remains on Instagram. Go. There's only one.
You'll find
us.
All right. A couple more here. Corey Anderson says, Brett, do you drink O'Doul's? No.
Duels rules.
No. Reminds me of this joke or this skit from an episode of Raw back in like the 90s or the early 2000s when the Acolyte Protection Agency was a thing and they run out of beer and he goes into the bottom shelf of the they have like literally like a file cabinet full of alcohol at the
Terry
bottom.
Bradshaw.
He goes,
Farouk.
he goes, how about a Zima?
I remember that.
Zima?
I remember that thing. It was him and it was Terry Bradshaw and Farouk.
Yes,
right?
it's Bradshaw and Farouk.
Yeah, and then I remember that skit.
I don't think it's John Bradshaw Layfield.
Yeah, it's not Terry, right? No, Terry Bradshaw's the football player.
Yeah, it's like not Terry Bradshaw,
it's
but
Bradshaw.
Yeah. Bradshaw and Farouk.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, how about a Zima?
Yeah,
he goes, come on, man.
Oh, man.
All right, I saw one more there. Hold on real quick.
My favorite wrestler was the Hogue Train. The
Godfather. He had
him and Val Venus.
Yep.
Top two.
Val Venus is like a right-wing guy. And
Is he?
He's like a QAnon guy.
Got to get him on the show. Got to get him on Inverted World.
Maybe
Awesome.
I might be slandering with the QAnon thing, but I know that he's people kind of they talk about him being a very politically active guy.
We got to get him out here.
That would be amazing. I'd be able to ask him about all of those.
The towel.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that shower scene real?
That was definitely not real. All right. Corey Anderson says T Swift needs to make a metal album. It would get metalheads to listen to it and would expose Swifties to a new genre of music. I prevail provided it.
Do you agree, Phil?
Yeah, I'd love to hear Taylor Swift's version of metal. I don't imagine that she would be all that interested in doing it, but yeah. I mean, look, Poppy can do it. Poppy did that transition. So yeah.
All right.
That'd be cool.
Not that John Stewart says I like turtles. All right, and with that being said, oh wait, no, I have to do the rest of the spiel.
Yeah.
Usually I save the super chats till right before we sign out if we get any more. But if you guys want to follow me, I am on Instagram and on X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. We are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is of course noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch this show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is another great way to help the channel out. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at popculturecrisis, Instagram at popculturecrisispod. Guys, we will be back with another episode on Monday. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.